Bangers Ball, we're coming to you from the United States of America, and right now we've crossed over to Boston to hook up with Pearl Jam for an exclusive interview. I'm joined by Jeff right here, as you can see, and Jeff, I think we should point out that we are taping this program just literally 48 hours after we heard the tragic news of Kurt Kobain's suicide. I was just wondering your reaction to that and how the band are feeling about it.
It's a pretty intense thing to deal with. Just even being out here with Mudhoney and kind of being with a group of people that have kind of coexisted with their band for the last 7 or 8 years, and I'm really thinking about Chris and Dave and kind of the people that were kind of around him. It's pretty intense. I think a lot about Andy, and just having dealt with that and Mother Love Bone, and I don't know, it just brings up a lot of kind of sour feelings and emotions, and it's just going to be different. It's just going to be weird, and we're just trying to get through it. It's just a little slice of reality that just doesn't really sit well. I don't really understand a lot of those really extreme emotions, so it's frustrating to me too. Not being able to really grasp, what was going through his head or whatever.
Has it been difficult to go up on stage and kind of focus on the shows after you'd heard that news?
I think whenever you kind of experience something that's pretty heavy, kind of go back and forth. Sometimes it's really easy to go up there because playing music is a very emotional thing, so it can be a very therapeutic thing.
Like a release.
But then sometimes it makes you wonder if all this is worth dying over, which sometimes probably not me so much even as Eddie, but sometimes the pressure involved in all of this can be kind of ridiculous, and it kind of reminds you of being a kid, and sometimes when you had like this really intense pressure off of something really ridiculous, like a girl or schoolwork or something your parents were telling you to do or whatever, and how it seemed like it was a life or death situation. And playing music shouldn't be about life and death. I mean, it shouldn't get to that point. It's really sad that it did, I can't even begin to explain because I don't know anything about it, but I think we all understand pressure a little bit.
But how are you as a band coping with those pressures? Have you come up with like a formula?
Communication. It's like any relationship, It's like talk to each other, and if anybody can relate to what any individual is going through, it's the people in the band, because they're going through the same thing on some level, and it's been pretty important. That's an important part of us even continuing to be a band, is wanting to kind of take the relationship aspect to a new level, and I think along with that growth, I think the music grows naturally. I don't think you have to sit around and recreate yourself like some bands do. Like you just kind of, it's very unspoken, in terms of your growth, because of the growing and the communicating that you're doing, and hopefully, the communication will get better and better and better, and along with that, the music will get better too.
But also for Versus, it seems that you've put two things up as far as Pearl Jam goes, and that is the album and the live shows, and then the rest of it, all the trappings, the videos, the interviews, difficult tour schedule, you've kind of pushed those to one side. And I guess the album and the live shows, they say it all, don't they? They stand on their own 2 feet.
Well, that's the most realistic aspect of it. I mean, at the same time, there are downfalls to not doing videos and not doing, you know, as many interviews and stuff, because the kids in the small towns, you know, I grew up in a small town, and you know, watching the Midnight Special or Don Kirshner's rock concert, which were these things that were on every weekend in American Bandstand, those were the only ways that I could really see a band, because bands didn't come to the state that I grew up in. So it's just kind of a balance thing. Right now, it's just, we just didn't feel like shooting a video was an appropriate thing, mainly because if we release a video, it gets played to death. You know? Like, people end up hating you because, you know, you did a video, and that's kind of ridiculous. So, and also the fact that a video is kind of a way of promoting yourself, and everybody knows about us, and everybody knows that our record was coming out, and there's just no reason to promote ourselves even further. Live shows is about getting out and being a band and playing music and sharing that real experience of music, you know, like, there's something really intense about, you know, creating live and the spontaneity that goes on with playing a live show, and that's pretty critical in the growth of this band. So, I mean, we'll always play live shows to some extent. It might, you know, at some point we might take a couple of years off or something, but it's just keeping everything in balance.